We start off this week's show with Jeff Johnston and a trip along the Oregon coast, along with a visit to Shore Acres. Then, ever wonder if a bigger sway bar system could make a difference in your motorhome? To answer that question, we visit Roadmaster outside Portland, Oregon, and learn what goes into making and installing a high-quality sway bar system. With COVID and flu still a concern, Mark and Dawn Polk from RV Education 101 show us how to clean and sanitize your RV to keep your family as safe as possible. Speaking of upgrades, after watching Michelle and Jeff installing a pair of RecPro sewer hose tubes on Michelle's trailer, a couple of our friends and viewers decided that's exactly what they needed. These stories and more on this week's RVing Today TV. Closed and Spanish captioning where available is sponsored by Go Power.
Today's RVing Today Quick Stop covers 3 fun locations on the southern Oregon coast. Hi, I'm Jeff Johnston for RVing Today. We're here at beautiful Shore Acres State Park on the Oregon coast, just south of Coos Bay. This is arguably the most spectacular spot on the Oregon coast for watching the waves. Now, that's a real popular thing here in Oregon, especially during bad weather. Now, we're here today on a beautiful, nice weather day. It's also low tide. There's still some fun action going on out here, but it's nothing like when you're here for a storm. And over my left shoulder there, kind of off in the distance, you can see a sort of an observation point that has a little bit of a railing out there. If you're standing by that railing on a really wet, stormy day, you're going to get wet from the ocean. It's possible we might right here too, but not today. In any case, Shore Acres State Park is a great place to visit, southwest of Coos Bay, Oregon. Park walking trails wind through majestic spruce and fir forests. Parking is abundant, but even the designated RV spot gets crowded on popular weekends. The park includes a botanical garden that was closed the day of our visit, but is well worth the exploration. Bay Point Landing Campground is a terrific lodging option in the Coos Bay area.
We're right on the bay here in Coos Bay, Oregon, and we have a modern luxury camping resort. So we've got 160 luxury RV sites, full hookups on everything, 30 amp, 50 amp cable, great Wi-Fi. Besides that, we also run a camping resort. So we have 4 styles of cabins. We also have Airstream rentals. And so those are great to enjoy and kind of camp in style, whether it's your first time or whether you're looking for a resort experience. One of the great things about Bay Point Landing is amenities. We provide deliveries throughout the park, whether it's from our food service, firewood, bottles of wine, chocolate, anything in our general stores. We also have a great indoor heated saltwater pool, fitness centers, activities rooms, both for adults and kids. And we do have an event center, which is doubles as a dining room. For big groups, we also have a beautiful pavilion that's great for events, and we rent out privately. There are some other outdoor amenities, community fire pits, horseshoes, bocce ball, and a nice playground for the kids too. We are open year-round. We actually do invite monthly stays, October through June 1st, and look forward to all our summer guests. Our peak periods being June through basically September, and we have a lot of folks coming out and enjoying the waters. And so, you know, we do have motorhome designated sites, waterfront. We also have back-in sites, waterfront dedicated, and we've got a variety of sites. We've got some pull-throughs for both styles, nice and convenient, and sites up to about 75 feet. Absolutely, we are www.baypointlanding.com. We should be easy to find, and we're just nestled right on the Cape Arago Highway, right by the state parks and all the attractions of Coos Bay, North Bend, and the southern Oregon coast.
While you're out on your central to southern Oregon coast adventure, if you feel like eating something a little bit different, stop in here at the Blue Heron in beautiful downtown Coos Bay. Blue Heron is an authentic German restaurant. We don't have very many of those. This is what they call the Oktoberfest. Holy cow, it's got schnitzel, it's got sauerbraten, it's got knockwurst and German potatoes and red cabbage, and it's a spectacular array. and I really hope that I'm hungry because it's a big meal. Their menu includes just about anything German that you might like to have. Stop in, give them a shot. It's worth the stop. The Blue Heron Restaurant, Bay Point Landing, and Shore Acres State Park are just 3 of the great places you can visit during your Oregon Coast adventure. Learn more by visiting our website at rvingtoday.tv.
When Thetford launched AquaChem, it didn't take long before it became the #1 selling holding tank treatment for over 50 years. Until now. Meet AquaMax, Thetford's new generation of holding tank products that works even better and are also campground friendly and environmentally safe. Looks like a new #1 is taking over. For more information, visit thetford.com. Want more RVing today? Then visit rvingtoday.tv. Besides our weekly show and extended segments, you'll find additional stories and videos along with insightful information on what's new and what's happening around the world in RVing. From luxury RVs to unique camper vans, and from RVing with pets to RVing with kids. You'll find it all and more in rvingtoday.tv.
We're here at Roadmaster Incorporated in Vancouver, Washington, where they build high-quality suspension aids designed to help solve motorhome handling and stability problems. A while back, we met Ron Gurowitz, the owner of a Winnebago Vista motorhome that displayed some poor handling characteristics. He said it was a lot of work to steer his rig and keep it in its lane. To learn more, we joined Ron for a demonstration ride to experience the effects firsthand.
You know, it's work to drive it. You have to really focus a lot. You're constantly driving the thing. You can't relax like you might want to. The side-to-side motion made what, you know, after about 300 miles, I was getting pretty tired.
It made sense for Ron to try Roadmaster as a solution to his coach driving problems. The company's front and rear sway bars and steering stabilizer may be just the ticket for this project. A high-profile coach like this is a prime subject for these components, which can make a huge difference in how your coach rides and handles going down the road. It makes a difference between, oh my gosh, when are we going to get there? This is so stressful, or, wow, I'm really enjoying this trip. We kind of like the enjoying this trip aspect. Ron made the appointment and his coach was soon in the shop for the parts installation. We're putting larger diameter aftermarket Roadmaster sway bars on this motorhome. Now, with the increase in diameter of the bar, the strength increases dramatically as well. And in case you're not real familiar with what a sway bar does, the straight part of the bar down here, this is fastened to the axle on the vehicle. Now this has got a bend on it because it's designed to fit around the differential. But this part's fastened to the axle and the ends attached to the frame. And when the body of the coach wants to roll, it wants to push up and, you know, pull up, push down on the ends of the sway bars. Well, the bar is like a big spring, more or less, and it wants to stay straight. So it resists it. It doesn't let it move like that. While the body is moving relative to the axle, it resists that attempt for the body to roll. And when you put a larger diameter one on, especially on a high-profile vehicle like this, it tends to make it want to stay vertical more appropriately rather than rocking and rolling all over the place. So these larger diameter Roadmaster anti-sway bars are going to probably make quite a bit of difference in how this coach handles going down the road. One of the parts going on this motorhome is a Roadmaster steering stabilizer. And what this amounts to is essentially a large shock absorber that resists motion in both directions with a coil spring that is also clamped at both ends. And this, it tends to, anytime you extend it, it wants to come back to the standard length, or when you compress it, it comes back to the standard length. Now this device is bolted on to the front axle between the steering tie rod and the axle, with one piece on the axle and one on the tie rod. And while you're driving down the road then, if you hit a bump or something that jams your steering off to the side, this helps to absorb that shock as well as returning the steering back a little bit closer to center. It's a pretty handy little accessory to put on an RV. There's not enough room under the coach for the install technicians and us, so we'll see the final product when it's finished. Meanwhile, David Robinson, Roadmaster VP, showed us around and explained a bit about manufacturing the sway bars and parts. It's a little bit blacksmithing and a lot of high tech.
Try to build everything right here, but not only do we build everything right here, but we also try to buy as much American-made product as we can. So an example of that is our steel. Our round bar steel that we use to manufacture sway bars from is bought in America. So one of the things that makes Roadmaster different is the diameter of the steel that we're using. Every 1/8 of an inch increase in diameter gives you an extra 30% of anti-roll and sway control. He's going to chuck up a straight length of steel, and then when it's finished, the computer will bend it to these exact specifications. So after the material has been bent by our CNC bending equipment, then it comes to the forging department. So here what we want to do is heat up the steel to about 2,000 degrees. That makes it nice and malleable. We can actually stamp some ends in it, trim off the ends, put the bolt holes in it. So this whole process is about forging the bar and the ends of the bar into their final shape.
Something you'll notice is that Roadmaster is justifiably proud of all the parts they make here in America.
So in keeping with the theme of the sway bar and made in America, these are the mounting brackets for the Ford F-53, and we make them right here in the factory, just like we do everything else. After our sway bars have been bent, they come out looking something like this, and it'll still have mill scale on it from the steel manufacturer, and we have to get rid of that. If we don't, water gets underneath of it, and then you get rust and corrosion. So what we do is we put this into something called a bead blaster, and that bead blaster is sending steel shot, and it's pounding and hammering the top layer, knocks off the mill scale, but it also hardens the steel and makes it stronger. So after we've prepared it that way, it can then go into the powder coat machine, and it gets a baked on powder coat finish, which is very durable.
The finished rear sway bar installation is clean and professional looking. Urethane bushings provide firm, precise bar support. The front upgraded sway bar fits neatly in place and uses the stock bar end hangers. It's not easy to see the reflex steering stabilizer, but it's mounted there on the front axle. With the parts installed, we hit the road again with Ron to hear his reaction to how the coach drives with the new hardware. We think he was impressed.
Well, it's a little stiffer, a little more better feel to the road. It doesn't seem to want to wander quite like it was before. I'm not having to fight against the rig. I'm more driving with it. I don't feel like it's trying to steer me one way or the other. Significantly less work to drive.
It looks like the Roadmaster parts can make a big difference in your driving time, comfort, and enjoyment. For more information about any Roadmaster products, visit their website at roadmasterinc.com.
From off-the-road adventure camping to luxurious full-time RVing and everything in between, Forest River has the RV to fit your needs, budget, and outdoor lifestyle. To see our full line of trailers and motorhomes, visit forestriverinc.com. Forest River. Begin the journey. At Norcoal, we realize that some of your favorite RV destinations are off the grid. And Norcoal refrigerators are uniquely designed with that RV experience in mind. We call it Freedom Unplugged. To learn more about our Norcoal RV refrigerator line or to find a dealer near you, visit our website at norcoal.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Polk with RV Education 101. We deep clean our RV every winter prior to storage and in the spring after storage. But today, with concerns over COVID-19, simply cleaning the RV is not enough. Now we need to clean and disinfect our RVs. We have family members in the RV, we stay at different campgrounds all over the country, and many of you are renting your RVs for additional income. What I think is really important to understand, especially during this pandemic, is how to thoroughly clean, sanitize, and disinfect our RVs. This is what we're going to discuss today. To really disinfect against COVID-19, we need to first understand how the virus is spread so we know how to disinfect against it. Studies show coronavirus is transmitted primarily by inhalation or from touching contaminated surfaces and then transferring the virus to your face or eyes. Recent studies indicate the virus can remain airborne for up to 10 minutes and remain on some surfaces for several days. So we need to be concerned about sanitizing against airborne germs and germs on all the various surfaces in the RV. Let's talk about how you do that. The first step is to thoroughly clean the RV with a general cleaning product. Products like Simple Green or Mr. Clean are good all-purpose cleaners. All surfaces in the RV must be cleaned before you disinfect. The reason is cleaning helps remove germs, but it does not necessarily kill the germs. Disinfectants kill germs. The CDC website lists products that disinfect against COVID, and the EPA has what is called the List N tool, where you can enter an EPA registration number of a product to see if it is a disinfectant that works against COVID-19. The EPA registration number is typically found on the rear label of the product. There are lots of disinfecting products listed, and after reviewing the list, there are 3 disinfecting products that we always use and keep in our RV: rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and regular household bleach. Having these products on hand is one thing, but understanding how to effectively use them is another. For example, I'm a fan of Clorox when it comes to disinfecting. I always recommend RV owners disinfect their RV water system when they take the RV out of storage or whenever you notice an odor in the water system. But did you know not all Clorox products are disinfectants? That's why it's important to always read the labels on the products. This Clorox product is not a disinfectant, but this one is. Always read the labels to make sure what products disinfect and what products do not disinfect. RV 101 tip: this Clorox product is a cleaner plus bleach and kills COVID-19 within 30 seconds. Something else important to understand is most disinfectants only work if you follow specific directions. Let's look at some of the products you can disinfect against COVID-19 if you follow the directions. The 3 products I want to concentrate on are rubbing alcohol, Clorox bleach, and hydrogen peroxide. All 3 are disinfectants if you follow the directions. Always wear and use personal protective equipment for the products you are handling. Process to disinfect using rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol needs to contain at least 70% alcohol to be effective as a disinfectant. Make sure you read the label. Do not dilute rubbing alcohol when you use it to disinfect. RV 101 tip: it's a good idea to test rubbing alcohol on surfaces to make sure it will not damage the surface prior to using the product. We already cleaned the surface to remove germs. Now we can wipe or spray the rubbing alcohol on the surfaces we are disinfecting. Rubbing alcohol must sit for a minimum of 30 seconds to effectively disinfect and kill germs. If it dries too quickly, you can reapply it on the surface again. Process to disinfect with hydrogen peroxide. We use hydrogen peroxide in the RV all the time. To disinfect, it must contain at least 1.4% hydrogen peroxide. What you typically buy in stores is 3%, so it will disinfect, but I would test it on surfaces first to ensure it will not damage any surfaces prior to using it. We already cleaned the RV to remove germs. Now we can wipe or spray the hydrogen peroxide on the surfaces we are disinfecting. Leave it on the surface for a couple of minutes to kill any germs. Process to disinfect with Clorox bleach. If you are using regular Clorox bleach, use a ½ cup per gallon of water, but it may be easier to use disinfectant wipes. We already cleaned the surface to remove germs. Now we can wipe the surface with the disinfectant wipes. Follow the directions for how long to leave it on the surface to kill the germs. Now that we know what products to disinfect with and how to do it, here are 7 tips on disinfecting your RV and preventing exposure to COVID-19. Number 1, when you enter the RV, remove your shoes and place them on a mat. This helps prevent tracking what may be on the soles of your shoes throughout the RV, and it helps keep the RV cleaner. Number 2, wash your hands as soon as you enter the RV using regular hand soap and warm water. Number 3, disinfect any surfaces you frequently touch like door handles, faucets, cabinet handles, and your phone. Number 4, use a HEPA air purifier to help prevent and control airborne germs from lingering and spreading. A study by NASA found HEPA filtration is effective at capturing particles below 0.3 microns. There are lots of air purifiers to choose from, and after researching different products, we decided on this Levoit Core 300 model to use in the RV. Number 5, after you clean surfaces, disinfect all porous and non-porous surfaces in the RV. This includes everything in the kitchen, the living room, bedroom, and the bathroom. Use the disinfectants we discussed earlier on non-porous surfaces, and use a spray disinfectant like Odoban on porous surfaces like fabrics and upholstery. It is best to use disinfectant wipes to disinfect the toilet, tub, and shower surfaces, but do not dispose of the wipes in the RV's holding tank. Dispose of the wipes in the trash. Number 6, opening vents or windows in the RV is perhaps the easiest way to allow airborne germs to exit the RV. Number 7, last but not least, wash your hands, social distance, use hand sanitizer, and wear masks according to guidelines. It's important to remember, for a disinfectant to kill germs, you must follow the product manufacturer's directions. We can all continue to travel and have fun in our RVs by understanding and practicing these simple cleaning and disinfecting procedures. To learn more about using and maintaining your RV, visit RVOnlineTraining.com. Happy camping.
Want more RVing today? Then visit RVingtoday.tv. Besides our weekly show and extended segments, you'll find additional stories and videos along with insightful information on what's new and what's happening around the world in RVing. From luxury RVs to unique camper vans, and from RVing with pets to RVing with kids. You'll find it all and more in RVingtoday.tv. When Thetford launched AquaChem, it didn't take long before it became the #1 selling holding tank treatment for over 50 years. Until now. Meet AquaMax, Thetford's new generation of holding tank products that works even better and are also campground friendly and environmentally safe. Looks like a new #1 is taking over. For more information, visit Thetford.com.
Hi, this is Tammy and Jason Chasko, friends of RVing Today. And about a year ago, Michelle Fontaine came through and we noticed this really clever sewer storage hose unit that you can install underneath your trailer, and we just had to have one. So this is how we used to do it. We pile it all up into a tote, which gets a little stinky because it's inside your trailer, and you have to shove it in here, which is taking up really precious storage space and prohibiting things from, you know, the important tiki pole from being able to fit in there.
So with our 2017 17-foot X-Flight from Forest River, really not a whole lot of space. This here, we're just going to take it and we're going to end up mounting it underneath here as we do our winterization for this year. It's a little late in the season to be worried about from there. So RecPro website was on there, saw it after, like I said, Michelle showed us hers, and I don't think we're going to be able to beat it with this for the sewer hose, for the tiki poles, and anything else that's long and skinny and go underneath there.
You can install multiple ones. Michelle has 2 underneath her unit, and you could even store fishing poles or your tiki poles, which if you live in an area like ours, there's a lot of mosquitoes and these things are pretty important.
Thanks for RVing Today for showing us all about this. So we look forward to being able to use it for many years in the future.
And thank you to the minds who create clever things like this.
For more information on anything you saw in this week's episode, along with additional videos, interesting stories, and RV news, visit our website at rvingtoday.tv. This has been another fun production.